Greetings everyone, welcome to Commerce Classes. So today we'll be understanding the syllabus of the paper Corporate Accounting. Now this is a paper of second semester of BCom Honors course of University of Delhi. Now examination of this paper includes 3 hours of theory exam of 100 marks in all, and successfully completing this course will give you 6 credit points. Now the objectives of this course are that after going through the complete course, one will be having the conceptual knowledge of corporate accounting, that is the basic standards and practices that we follow while making the accounts in case of companies, and practical insight of the various techniques of preparing accounting and financial statements. So it is just not the theory that we are to go through, but we are to solve the numerical questions also regarding preparation of various accounting and financial statements, but with the reference of companies. Now let us understand the learning outcomes. After going through the course, one should be in a position to understand accounting for share capital and debentures. Although in your 12th standard you have come after solving questions on issue of shares, issue of debentures, etc. But here in BCom Honors the depth will be much more as compared to what you have earlier done. Then it will be including some more topics also. Second is that one should be in a position to understand and prepare financial statements of a company after completing this course. Thirdly, an understanding of the preparation of cash flow statement, because you see in case of companies, cash flow statements are an integral part of the final statements. Like till now what we have studied is that final statements includes an income statement, that is trading and P&L account, and a balance sheet. But in case of companies they have 3 main financial statements or final statements: income statement, balance sheet, and cash flow statement. So an understanding of cash flow statement and its preparation is an important aspect of this outcome of this course. Then understanding the accounting for amalgamation and liquidation of companies, and finally preparation of consolidated balance sheets of the holding or parent company. Now keeping in mind the learning outcomes, the topics which are included in the course are also similar. So the course content includes 5 main topics: accounting for share capital and debentures, financial statements of a company, cash flow statement, amalgamation, reconstruction and liquidation of the company, and then accounts of the holding company or parent company. Let us see the details of these one by one, and wherever we have the accounting standards relevant for the working, they need to be studied. Now in the details, let us take up first unit 1. Now this includes introduction to the issue of shares and debentures. Of course this is something that you have done in the 12th standard, similar to that but much more in depth will be there in this course. Then right issue, bonus issue, ESOPs, that is employee stock option plans, buyback of shares, book building, underwriting of shares and debentures. So these are all the things which are included in issue of shares and debentures. So right issue, bonus issue, you might have studied these in theory, but now our focus will be on the practical part as well. Then an important component of this first unit is redemption of preference shares, because as per company rules, preference shares are to be redeemed within a given time span of 10 years. So when a company goes for redemption of preference shares, then what are the basic provisions and how do we account for the same? That is a part of this unit. Then redemption of debentures, which includes debenture or sinking fund or open market purchase, conversion of debentures into new form of debentures or shares. So all this is an integral part of this unit. Second is financial statements of a company. So we will be preparing income statement and position statement, that is balance sheet of a company. However, till this time you were preparing your financial statements in T shape. Like if I say we are to prepare P&L account, then you used to prepare it in this form, right? Debit side included all the expenses, credit side included all the incomes, and then you calculated difference as profit or loss, but not now. In case of companies, financial statements are to be prepared strictly in accordance with Schedule 3, wherein the statements are prepared not in the T form but in a statement form. So you start with the sales revenue, then you take up the expenses one by one as per the category, and then you calculate different components of the profits. Likewise, while preparing the balance sheet, we start with the liabilities, wherein you have the major classifications, as it says, part 1 and part 2. So the liabilities are divided into certain categories like shareholders funds, non-current liabilities, current liabilities. Similarly, second part will be assets, then non-current assets, current assets, etc. So we'll be preparing the statement strictly in accordance with the schedule, which includes two parts. Now, while studying the division of the accounts, the first division shall be studied in detail, but second division will be an overview. So we need to remember the categories of various liabilities, assets and components of expenses, and subcategories as well. Now, an overview of Indian Accounting Standard 1 regarding the presentation in the financial statements shall be done alongside. As I explained earlier, that wherever the standards are involved, we need to study them alongside. Now, third unit is cash flow statements, which includes meaning, usefulness and limitations of cash flow statement. Then preparation of the statement shall be done strictly in accordance with the revised accounting standard 3. Now, along with this accounting standard 3, we will be studying Ind AS regarding statement of cash flows. So relevant accounting standards are to be studied as well as followed. Now, unit 4 includes amalgamation, reconstruction and liquidation of companies. I will just give you a brief view of this. Amalgamation basically implies when two or more companies join together and they combine into either a new company or one of the existing companies take over the company. Maybe you have A Limited and B Limited. Now these two companies want to merge their business, they want to work together, so amalgamation takes place. It may happen that a new AB Limited might be formed to take over the business, or one of the companies may take over the business of another. So this is amalgamation or absorption. Then reconstruction is when a company reconstitutes itself. This is usually the case in case of a loss-making companies. The companies are making losses, their balance sheets are not truly representative of their assets and liability position. So now they want to reconstruct their balance sheet, their financial position. So this can be done in two ways, either internally or externally. So internally the company goes for reconstruction within its own boundaries, that is only in the books we make some changes and we reconstitute the company, where external reconstruction involves winding up of the existing company and creation of a new company to buy that one. So it is done externally. Then you have liquidation of a company, as a company is created by law, so it has to be liquidated by law. So at the time of liquidation of company, how the accounts are settled and how the payments are made will be a part of this unit. So we'll be having concept of purchase consideration, because in amalgamation, reconstruction, a company is sold to another company. So purchase consideration, its concept and calculation is a part of this. Then accounting for amalgamation, excluding intercompany transactions and holdings. Then accounting for external reconstruction, internal reconstruction. Okay, now in internal reconstruction we will be studying the accounting part, but how that scheme is actually prepared, it won't be within the purview of our course. So we won't go for formation or making of the scheme. Scheme will be given to us, we'll account for the same. Then you have accounting for liquidation of the companies. It is much similar to winding up of the you can say firm and closing of the books. But yes, herein we will be following all the relevant standards. Now in case of liquidation of a company, the code of insolvency and bankruptcy becomes applicable. So the introduction to these provisions and their applicability, preparation of statement of affairs as per the prescribed format, and then an overview of the relevant accounting standards. Wherever the standards or sections are relevant, we will be studying all these as a part of this chapter. Now next unit is accounts of holding company or parent company. Now this usually happens when a company acquires shares in the other company, thereby acquiring control of that company. So the company which is acquiring the capital of other company is referred as holding company or parent company. and the company whose shares have been acquired becomes the subsidiary company. Now, since the holding company has made investment into this subsidiary company, so the Company Act requires that the holding company should prepare a consolidated balance sheet. That is, consolidating their own balance sheet with that of their subsidiary company. So preparation of this balance sheet is a part of your course. However, our questions will be restricted to one subsidiary company only. Further, chain holding, like A company holding shares in B company holding shares in C company. So this is a kind of chain holding. This is excluded. Then intercompany holding is when A company has acquired shares in B company and B company has also acquired shares of A company. So intercompany holdings, they are also excluded. So we are having a case only one company is acquiring control of another. Then acquisition of shares on two different dates. When you will be working on this chapter, you will be finding that the date of acquisition of shares is very important and it affects our calculations. So if we have purchase of shares on two different dates, it will make the calculations a lot more complex. So as this chapter is being introduced for the first time, so acquisition of shares on different dates is not there in your course. This will be excluded. So the shares will be acquired only on one given date. Then holding company and subsidiary company having different reporting dates. This case is also excluded because we'll be combining balance sheets with the same closing date for the companies. So apart from these four cases, all other adjustments will be there. Plus we'll be going through AS 21 and Ind AS 110 regarding the consolidation. These are 5 chapters that we are to cover as a part of this course of corporate accounting. Now the relevant books are, you may buy a book of Bhushan Kumar and Goel, Corporate Accounting by Alok Kumar, by J.R. Monga, then Rajkumar Saha, Ashok Sehgal and Deepak Sehgal, then another is by P.C. Tulsian. All the books will be giving you, the basic concepts, and whichever book appeals to your own style, which is understandable to you, can be followed by you. Then you have assessment. This will be having 5 credit hours for the lectures and 1 credit hour for the tutorials. So you will be having 5 lecture hours per week and 1 tutorial for each group. Then you have examination scheme. You will be having exam of 100 marks. This 100 marks exam includes 2 things. End sem exam and semester exam of 75 marks. It will be a 3 hours exam, and internal assessment. As you are now familiar with the concept of internal assessment, your assessment will comprise of class participation, assignments, projects, viva, etc. Although right now we are having online classes, so class participation is not sure. Maybe the marks of assignment and projects will be scaled up to 25. And if the classes starts formally, then maybe the class participation marks will also be there. So there is a bit of, you can say, uncertainty about these marks, but on the whole internal assessment is of 25 marks. Now let us see the pattern of the end sem exam of 75 marks. Your examination will consist of 5 questions, 1 from each unit. However, the unit 1, that is share capital debentures, which is a very detailed unit, then financial statements and accounts of holding company, these will be having a question of 15 marks each, but cash flow statement will be having a question of 10 marks, amalgamation, reconstruction, liquidation, because it's a very detailed chapter comprising of 3 main things. And within the reconstruction, you will be finding internal and external reconstruction accounting is altogether different story. So you will be having 20 marks questions from this unit. So that will make up for total 75 marks. So I hope the contents of this paper and the details of the relevant topics and their importance in exam is clear to you. So that is it for the day. Thank you.